All right. So I want to welcome you all to our Tech Thursdays. This is our free AI training. If this is your first time being with us, I just want to say welcome. You can join us for the replays are on school. There they are. You can access those for free for now as we are building up our library. Um, what we have been doing and focusing on here at Scribble Tech Services is we have our niche is teaching people how to repurpose and to take one piece of content and to repurpose that into multiple types of content. We started off with teaching on how to set up your chat GPT so that it is customized to you and customized to your voice. And last week we talked about AI for email and automation. And today we're going to talk about understanding AI skills files, which is another foundational piece that most people don't use or they don't even know that it exists. And so as I am, learning, as I am in different classes, attending different summits, the information that I am learning, I am bringing them back here to this community to teach you so that we can all level up in our AI skills. So, on tonight, again, understanding AI skills files. This is a complete guide to creating specialized AI instructions. I cannot um, uh, emphasize that enough of the importance of making sure that your AI, whether you are using ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, or one of the others, the importance of customizing it. So, on today, we're going to learn what they are, why they matter, and how to create your own. So, if you have pen and paper, you can feel free to take some notes. We're going to go ahead and get right into it. So, what is a skills file? A skills file is a specialized instruction manual that teaches AI assistants how to perform specific tasks with expert level quality. Um, think of it as a cookbook recipe, but for AI tasks. Um, it has best practices that are condensed into one document, and it's basically like a technical guide that activates when needed as you are working in your um, AI model. Now, why do skills files matter? Skills file, they provide consistency, quality, and efficiency, and they eliminate a lot of the trial and error phase to ensure that every output it follows the proven best practices. When you think about, and I don't know if you've ever experienced this, when you are, say, working in ChatGPT, and if it's not trained, then it goes in where you have to put in the same prompt every single time for the same task that you want to do. When you have a skills file, it's going to give you that consistency where every output it follows the proven best practices. Say you are creating content that is for Instagram. Well, how you publish on and post on Instagram is different from Facebook. How you post on Facebook is different from LinkedIn, so on and so forth. And so, skills file actually helps with the consistency. It also helps with the quality. So, it's going to eliminate a lot of the trial and error in the AI responses that it is giving you. When we talk about efficiency, AI knows exactly how to approach the task. Why? Because you have already set up your skills file. and you've told it exactly, these are the guardrails. This is exactly what I want, and it stays in that. So it's going to make it more efficient. When it comes to the expertise, it captures specialized knowledge all in one place. So you don't have to go, maybe you have a project set up and say, and I could say this personally because before, listen, AI is advancing at the speed of lightning, probably more than the speed, faster than the speed of lightning. And so there are some things that I had set up in different projects that I now have created a skills file where I'm not having to switch between different chats. It's going to automatically pull that information into that chat that I'm working on, and I don't have to worry about switching. The other thing is that it's scaled for scalability. One file will improve countless interactions within your overall chat GPT. So, when do we use skills files? Skills files are perfect for all of the repetitive tasks with the clear best practices. It's perfect for the technical tasks that require specific formats and domain specific content. It's not ideal, however, for the one-off creative requests. It's not ideal for that. But if you are using ChatGPT and for like writing emails or doing newsletters, things that you do repetitively, then this is when you want to use a skills file. So I talked about what it is. Let's take a look at the anatomy of a skills file. Every good skills file will include these 7 components, and that is purpose, when to use, the prerequisites, best practices, step by step instructions, examples and templates, and then common mistakes. So let's go into these. So when we talk about purpose, what is it that this skill file is to accomplish? You want to be very specific in giving it and assigning a purpose to it. The second one is when to use. So you want to use trigger phrases and scenarios. Say I'm working on a campaign for holiday giving. I can put into the skills file certain trigger phrases or certain scenarios, and it will automatically be triggered whenever I type that into a chat. When we talk about prerequisites, what is the required information before starting? Because you're not going to have it pull from every time you get into ChatGPT. You can have prerequisites stating that, whenever I come in, to do maybe a midweek newsletter, then you have that specific information inside of that skills file, which is going to trigger it. When we look at best practices, those would be your platform or your domain specific guidelines. There are guidelines, again, for Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. They all have their specific platform guidelines. And so you want to make sure that you plug those in as well. The next would be the step-by-step instructions. So you want to give it clear sequential process of how it is to accomplish the task that you are looking for it to pull that information pull that information together for you. With examples and templates, give it working patterns to follow. Um, and listen, you can actually have ChatGPT to actually do these things for you. You don't have to try to figure it out in your head. Have ChatGPT give you the step by step, and then what you do is you copy it into a file that you can now upload into your instructions. And the last thing would be the common mistakes. So, what are the pitfalls to avoid? Um, Say a certain language that you would not want it to use. I was working on something, and it had given me pretty decent. I love what it had given me, but as I was reading through it, it was talking about the universe and some other stuff, and so I had to go back and be specific. Like, okay, well, as long as I'm talking about this topic right here, you are not to reference anything that is new age, anything that is and so on and so forth. So you want to give it the pitfalls to avoid. But this is the anatomy of what a skill file is. You're gonna need those. Now, let's go into the step-by-step creation process. So, the first part of the process is you want to identify the specific task or use case. And we're going to do an example after this slide. We'll go through an example so that you can actually see what it looks like. The second step would be to research by testing with AI multiple times. So, you don't want to just do it one time. You want to test it multiple times to make sure that it is staying on task. The next would be to document. You want to document what works and what doesn't. The next would be structure. You want to structure the information with very clear sections. So you don't want to just have everything um, all in one long paragraph or one long document. You want to structure it so that it makes it easier for uh, for AI to get the instructions. The next part would be to write clear, directive instructions. You want to include those concrete examples and sometimes even code snippets. You can ask it for the code and it will give it to you. Or if you are using, say, ChatGPT to help you with writing the instructions, you can ask it to give you the code so that it actually shows up like code in the file. Then you want to test the skill with AI and gather feedback. This works well for doing beta testers, depending upon how, what type of project you're working on or how many people are working on the project. You always want to invite in some beta testers so that you can get the feedback for the process. And then the last thing would be to iterate based on real world performance. And so you don't want to give things that was not likely to happen. You want real world performance so that it can be as close to what it is that you are desiring so that you will get the results that you are looking for. Okay. Now, so let's go. So before I go into our example for tonight, any comments or any questions? Any comments or questions before I go on?
So when creating the skills file, this
Mm-hmm.
is ultimately a document
Yes.
that goes into
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT or even Claude.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. So you know how we talked about you can well now you can just up now you can upload files into it. Um, but remember how we talked about creating custom instructions?
Right. Okay.
Okay, so a skills file is slightly different from custom instructions, but they do work together.
Okay.
So that's the important thing to know and to understand is that they are slightly different. because they have different end goals. Excuse me, but they do work hand in hand. So you still want to have your custom instructions in your chat GPT or in your Claude. Um, but then you want to upload this file into the place where you can upload files. It will be in the same area inside of the chat GPT, since that's the one we're kind of talking about um, for tonight. Okay. Any other questions? Great question. Okay. All right. So let's get into our real example. So, our real example would be to create a social media skill. And this skill would be for specifically for creating social media content. So, for the purpose, you would have on the document to generate platform optimized social media content that drives engagement, or whatever it is that you are looking, whatever it that purpose is, you want to put that in there. Um, for the triggers, some of the trigger words could be create Instagram post, or write LinkedIn caption, or draft TikTok description. So you want something that's just a couple of words that will trigger now the skills file. In the key sections, you would have platform specific best practices, content templates, formatting guidelines, character limits, and even hashtag strategies. So this is you would gather this information. And so let me say this. This is not something um that you want to just, I don't want to say like brush it off, but it takes time for us to do skill files, right? It takes time for us to do them. But at the end of the day, when you do it, you're going to notice a big difference in your output and what you are receiving. And so I encourage people to go ahead and take the time to train your AI model that you're using. Take the time to put together your skills file, um, because it's just going to set you above bar when it comes to the content that it is going to push out for you. Now, there are some best practices when creating your skills file. You want to be specific and directive. You want to include real examples. Focus on one task per skill. Don't try to put all of the things together, because oftentimes, 99% of the time, if you give, and this is something that I had to learn, because I'm the type of person where I like to give you all of the information, because I don't want you coming back asking me nothing, because I already done gave you the instructions, right? And so with what I had to learn was you can't give it all of the instructions all the time, because it's going to miss, right? So you want to focus on one task per skill, just one, because now it has your undivided attention for that one skill. So like you don't want to do this for say like maybe a project that you're working on or something. Like you want to be able to identify, cut that project, into sections, right? So that it can focus. You want to make sure that you thoroughly test it before deploying it. You want to update it based on feedback. And then you want to keep the instructions clear and scannable. That's how these AI models work. They work by scanning. So if you give it too much, it's going to miss because it's computer. It's going to miss. All right. So these are some of the best practices when putting together your skills file. So, and this just reiterates what I just said. These are some of the common pitfalls to avoid. You don't want to make your skills too broad or too vague. You don't forget to include your concrete examples. If you're not for sure, ask ChatGPT to give you some examples. You don't want to use ambiguous or unclear language. You want to be very, very clear. You don't want to skip the testing in the iteration phase. You don't want to overload one skill with multiple tasks. I was listening. I could raise both of my hands and both of my feet because that's how I used to do it. The last thing is you don't want to make sure that you want to make sure that you're not documenting the edge cases or the exceptions. The edge cases has to do with programming or with code. Um, so there's different platforms, and we're going to do this one day. This might be one of our learning labs where we may be in person, um, or we could possibly do it during this time, something simple. But there's so many apps out there where you could actually build your own app. We call them no code apps. And one of the things that you will see as you are testing your app, you're going to hear it talking about edge cases a lot, edge cases, or different exceptions, right? So, but these are the common pitfalls to avoid. And basically, um, it's your turn. So I want you to think of a task that you do frequently with AI and to create your first skills file. You want to remember to start small, test it thoroughly, and iterate based on the results. Um, in the AI Academy, the recording, the presentation, and also the information for how to create a skills file. All of that is in the academy there on school. So you'll be able to kind of walk through it on your own to create your own skills file. So that is our first part of tonight. And I'm going to open it up again for any comments or questions. What did you think? What did you learn? Have you ever heard of a skills file?
Good. When it comes to, so I don't have any skills files and actually need to go ahead and get to getting them done because one task that I don't know if it's consistently or consistently do is um, one section of it would be creating content. Sometimes I need an idea, and then sometimes I need ideas for putting images or putting videos together. So, hmm.
You kind of went out.
So I'm thinking that the task would be create 12 pieces of content. So I could make a skills file for this task that just says create 12 pieces of content.
So you could, yes, absolutely. Um, So you'll be more specific, in the purpose, and you'll see. Actually, let me share. I can at least share kind of what it looks like. So this actually breaks everything down. So when you talk about creating 12 pieces of content, then, you know, this would be the purpose. So generate effective platform optimized social media content, including posts, captions, and visual descriptions that drive engagement and align with brand voice. All right. And then you're going to tell it when to use it. Well, whenever the user requests social media posts or captions, if they mention a specific platform, if they ask for content strategy, post ideas, or engagement copy, if they need hashtag recommendations or call to action text. So then the next part of that now would be the prerequisites. So before the content, gather the target platform because they each have their own metrics. You want to gather the brand voice or the tone. Is it professional? Is it casual, humorous, or inspirational? What is the target audience demographics and interests? What is the content goal? Is it for awareness, engagement, conversion, or education? And then are there any specific constraints? That would be your character limits and your hashtag requirements. And I think that I gave us this last week or the week before, what the prerequisites are for each platform. Oh, actually, a couple of them are here. So, what are the platform specific best practices? So, this breaks all of them down. You have them right here, will be in this document here. So, Instagram, Twitter, I don't use Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook. And then you want to go into the content structure template. So you can give it a template as well. What is your basic post structure? You can give it all of that. And then when it comes to your writing best practices, what is the voice and tone? What are the engagement drivers? And then the common mistakes to avoid. Then when you go down to content categories, is this educational? Are you creating educational posts? Are they engagement posts? Are they entertainment? Or is it promotional? Then here on the Google Doc, you're going to have some example templates of what this looks like, right? So those are your example templates for each of the platforms, right? And then you have your quality checklist. So before delivering the content, you verify all of this here. And then there's some advanced techniques here as well. If you are using a storytelling framework, um, then you would input that into the skills file. Are you using emotional triggers? Are you using A/B testing considerations? And then any other additional notes that you would want to put into the skills file, you will put that there. Okay, so this is literally an example of what that would look like, putting together your skills file. So again, it does take some time, but I'm telling you, it will make a world of difference, in your content and also in using um, AI to create. Yes, skills files gives me the stability necessary to do repeatable tasks and set. Absolutely, it absolutely does. So it may take a couple hours to put this together, but think about on the other side, of once you have it done, then what that's going to look like. Okay. So any questions before I go into our next segment that I want to share with you all on tonight, or any comments? All right. So what I am going to share on tonight is our new baby. And our new baby is our Repurpose Hub. This is something that I have been working on for a couple of months. And because I create multiple content across platforms and also just what we do here at Scrabble Tech Services with repurposing, um, this was born out of that. And so with the Repurpose Hub, this turns one idea into everything. And this is an AI powered content multiplication system. So when we talk about content, the content creation problem, um, most of the time we create more, but we're growing less. So we're spending hours on content that gets buried within 24 hours. Um, you spend all of this time in creating content, paying freelancers, upwards of, you know, 950 plus dollars a month, or you are using different apps in order to create your content and to push it out. Then you get stuck on the content hamster wheel with no time to truly scale your business, your ministry, or just your personal presence on social media. So the solution that we have is that you take one idea and that one idea becomes 10 plus assets. So you're literally transforming your content into a complete campaign. So, how does this work? Well, it starts with one idea, and we call this a seed. So, we have a seed framework, which we taught in the first two classes. We went over that in detail. Your seed could be a concept, it could be a topic, a content piece. Uh, for those who are authors, it could be just one um, thought from your book. Um, it could be just many various things, but you start with one idea, and what AI does is it multiplies it. This is what the Repurpose Hub does. It multiplies it. So our system creates platform specific content. And then once that content is created, then you can launch it everywhere. So now you're deploying that one seed, that one idea across all of your channels at once. So basically, what we have created Okay. Basically, what we have created is a content ecosystem where you can create and transform, you can write copy, transform content. There is an AI generator, there's a prompt studio, you can also launch and track where you can have you can create your campaign, you can set revenue goals. There is ROI tracking in your campaign analytics, and then you can also optimize and convert where there is a conversion framework, platform optimization, a multi-platform deploy, and also prompts, custom AI prompts. So, what is included in the Repurpose Hub? You can write copy. So you can take and create original content with AI assistance. You can transform your content by optimizing it for all platforms automatically. You can do campaign creation where you organize and launch complete campaigns. And then we have our conversion framework where there is a pain to win to action formula built right in. So basically, you can replace your entire content team. Our traditional approach of how we are creating content now is you have a social manager at maybe 300 bucks a month. You have a designer, 200 bucks a month, a copywriter, 400 bucks a month, a scheduler, $50 a month. So people are spending upwards of $950 a month in this traditional approach. But with the Repurpose Hub, everything is automated. There's no freelancers. You can create unlimited content, and that's only $97 a month. So you're literally saving $853 a month. Now, what we have is our founding member opportunity. We have opened this up for 10 exclusive beta tester spots. All of our beta testers become founding members at a reduced rate. And after these spots fill up, then we will be working towards our full launch for January of 2026, where we are launching it to the public. So you may say, well, how do I get started? Well, you get started by taking our free AI plus business audit. This is free for the first 10 people each month. You can apply for beta testing to become a founding member of the Repurpose Hub, and you can start multiplying your content immediately. So you will have immediate access to the platform, and we would go through all of that with you. And so basically, we want you to stop creating and start multiplying. So again, step number one is to take that free AI plus business audit. Step number two is apply for beta testing. And after that, we'll get you in. If we have not met our 10, um, once we meet our 10, then we will go into our founding member rates. We want people who are going to actually use the system. As I always say, or as we say in tech world, to break it so that we can build it and we make sure that the product that we are building that it meets the needs of our users and of our community. And so um, let me show you quickly what it looks like. All right, so let me come back and share the screen. All right, so this is literally what it looks like. Right, so when you come into the Repurpose Hub, this again is your complete content transformation ecosystem. Over here, you have your navigation. This is the dashboard, and on the dashboard, it will tell you how many copies you've written, how many transformations you've done, how many campaigns, and then your revenue goals. There is a built-in copysmith. Say you want to create content, but you're not exactly sure of where to start. There is this copysmith. And so you can go through the discovery phase. Who buys from you? What keeps them awake at 3 a.m.? And then what transformation do you deliver? Once you put in that information, then it's going to come over and you're going to tell it, well, what type of content? So, what is the formula being built for? Is it a landing page? Is it an email sequence? Or is it for social media, right? And then it will give you the output based upon what you have placed inside of Copysmith. Now, to get back to the main screen, you can click over here on dashboard. The next part would be the content scribe. So with the content scribe, it literally transforms um, your content for all platforms. You can copy and paste your content right into the box here for original content. You can select your platform, Instagram, TikTok, Shorts or Reels, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter or X, Facebook, and even Pinterest. Um, Then back over here, you have your campaigns. So your campaigns are going to just give you an overview so that you can track what it is. You may be running multiple campaigns at the same time, and you need to be able um, to have in one place uh, where you can look at the campaigns that you have out there. The thing that I love about this is that you can actually link it to a revenue goal, which would be our next box. So here you can create multiple goals. This right here is an example. So in this example, these revenue goals are going to help you to track your campaign performance. So you could have a quarter one product launch, give it a description, put in what your target goal is, what is that metric, it's revenue, and then what's the timeline. And so once you have created your revenue goals, then you can link your campaigns to the goal so that you can now track the impact of your content that you are putting out. Now, next we have a prompt studio. This is where you can generate custom AI prompts tailored to your content repurposing strategy. There is a smart builder. You can come here and you can say, hey, maybe I want to do a blog, or I need content for a webinar or a podcast, an email, social media posts, presentation slides. You may be writing a report or a white paper or an interview or a transcript. And so you can click on those and just follow the process for what it is that you are doing. So if I was to click on blog or an article, I would just do that. And then step two, what is your repurpose goal? So then you can put and you can select, well, I want engagement, and then hit next. And then you can do your brand voice calibration. Um, do you, and these are some presets here. You can also slide the scale here for the tone, the style, and also the energy. Do you want it to be more calm? Do you want it to be more energetic? Right? And then you can hit next. And then you would select your platform. So is it LinkedIn, IG, and say YouTube? Your preferred length. Do you want it to be short? Do you want it to be medium? Do you want it to be a long content, right? And then this is the secret sauce. So what makes your content unique? Is it personal experiences, step-by-step frameworks, visual or interactive elements, or you can type in down here any additional information that you would want to share. And then once you have all of that in, then you can click generate my prompt and it's going to generate a prompt for you. Okay. Or if you go back to the beginning, you can also use our premium packs. So if you click here on premium packs, our premium packs are um, basically our prompt library, and you can purchase those there. All of these are ones that we are currently working on. Uh, so yeah, they're the opportunities are endless. You can also, whenever you create a prompt, you can save it. You can save it. Now, next would be the AI content generator. This is where you generate content, platform optimized content with AI. So you can either use the generator, you can type in your content idea, and then um, it's going to appear over here on this side. And then once you have that here, then you can take it back to the copysmith and run it through the copysmith part of the process, and it will generate the content for you. And then lastly, we have a conversion framework. So here you can actually personalize this. Um, which business is this for? You can add a business, and it's not just for business. It could also be for ministry. It can be for organizations. It can be for different types of content. Maybe you have different things that you work on that you need to create content for. All right. And basically, what this is going to do, this is going to give you the pain, the win, and the action every single time. Right? So this is the Repurpose Hub. Again, I am super excited about what we are building here. Down at the bottom, you will see the recent activity. And so, say I wanted to go back into um, this right here, um, you will be able to see how it is creating the content right here. And then you can select your platform, and then you can have a transform for one platform. Okay. And I am in the actual app. I'm in preview mode. So that little error came up. But this is the Repurpose Hub. So super duper excited. All right. So I hope you enjoyed our training tonight. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and meet me back here on next Thursday for more free AI training. Peace.